with Johnny Morris back at Soldier Field, where Darrell Rogers' Lions typically hanging in the game, and yet in the first period they had only 2 first downs and 19 total yards to 89 for the Chicago Bears, and it took a disputed touchdown to give Chicago the lead. Lions ball at their own 35, 2nd and 8. Loose ball, flag down. Bears say they've recovered. Wait for the official signal, but a flag is also on the play.
Boy, is Eric Hipple having trouble taking the snap.
Ball start, 67, no fumble.
Don Greco charged with a false start, and Greco furious at the call, being calmed down by Keith Dorney, but the Lions do not lose the ball.
You can see 67. He's the right guard there. Just a little bit. Apparently that, yes, that stops the play, and the play is dead. So the play does not go through, and the Bears do not get the ball on the fumble recovery.
So it'll be backed up to the 29-yard line, and will be a 2nd down and 13. Lions now at their 30. Playing into this considerable wind at Soldier Field. Hipple play action. Perry in pursuit. Intercepted by Dunn. Some rough stuff between a still distraught Don Greco and Bears linebacker Otis Wilson, but Dewerson has picked it off for the Bears, who have field position in Lions territory.
This is a play that the Lions use quite a bit, and it's a late developing play, and that's what really gets them in trouble here as they do the one fin back on the counter of the lineman, and Hipple didn't even see Dewerson 22 as the refrigerator was after him, and he was trying to lead his receiver Leonard Thompson, and Dave Dewerson was standing right there for the interception. The Bears have the ball in Lion territory.
Steve Fuller, the quarterback. Slot formation right. Payton, the lone setback. He has the ball. Behind the tackle, Van Horn, a gain of 4.
Walter Payton, who has 4 straight 100-yard games now. He's heading towards 15,000 yards. And you're going to see a lot of running in this football game, as we said, and it seems to continue here.
Payton with 192 yards last week. 3rd best day of his illustrious career. And approaching the 1,000-yard season, he had 844 coming into the game today. 2nd down, 6.
Good play by Jimmy Williams there. Nice tackle. And Ken Fantetti is now in the ball game, number 57. So he'll be seeing his first action. He had a bad thumb, a broken thumb early in the season, the exhibition season. Played, I think, the first, yes, he played the first regular season game and then was out. And he's been wanting to get in there, and he is going to have a few collisions with Walter Payton before this football game is over. You can bet on that.
It was apparent in talking yesterday that he feels he's got to prove himself to the Lions coaching staff, as well as prove himself to the Chicago Bears today. 3rd down after Suhey's run. Suhey trying to get the first down, and he is very close. Matt Suhey, more of a force today. Yes, he has the first down. More of a force today than he has been in any game in the first 9. Fantetti and Johnson made the stop for the Lions. The linebackers for the Lions, they have a total of 18 players on the injury list. And several of them are key performers. People like Michael Kofer, James Harrell, Martin Moss, Dwayne Galloway, who figured to be a nickelback for them. Of course, Billy Sims, Chris Dietrich, and wide receiver Jeff Chadwick, and then Wilbert Montgomery they got to replace Sims. This is Payton, and a diving tackle by August Curley. Loose ball on the play. The Lions pile up there trying to come up with the fumble recovery, but it looks like the Bears have maintained possession. August Curley, number 50, the 3rd-year man from USC, has been very aggressive defensively in this game so far. The ball at the Lions' 22-yard line. There's Curley, 6'3", 230-pounder.
Number 42.
has come in to make a double tight formation for the Chicago Bears, joining Tim Wright. Moorhead bothered with an injury, and Reitman getting the start today, but they will use the double tight end formation. Rolling is Fuller. Fuller to the tight end, and it is intercepted or not?
Yes. No.
Incomplete. It was Vernon Maxwell had the hand on the ball. Let's see who had the opportunity. I think Johnson to catch it.
Steve Fuller was just off on this pass as he threw back behind, and you can see it's deflected.
That's Maxwell.
And
it's
August Curley.
And then I think
it's McNorton, isn't it?
Yes, you're right.
Bruce McNorton. Boy, there's people all over the place there. Didn't quite get it. Third down situation for the Bears. Third and about 8.5.
So another break for Chicago. That could well have been an interception. Galt in motion out of the shotgun. Fuller, sideliner, incomplete. Ken Marjoram could not hold on. Ball was there in first down yardage.
And the Lions opted to blitz that time, brought everybody a safety blitz as Fuller was under pressure, and it worked for Detroit.
It'll be fourth down, and Kevin Butler will come on. Fuller's second pass was on target, but Marjoram couldn't make the grab.
Well, the wind is going to be behind Kevin Butler, so distance is not going to be a problem here.
He may kick it into Lake Michigan from here.
If he hits a side gale or something like that, it might blow it right towards. It is really strong, kind of crosswind, too.
They'll spot it just inside the 30-yard line for a 39-yard attempt. Butler 16 of 20 so far this year. Loose ball got by Fuller. Butler having difficulty. Lions pick up the ball. And the Bears blow the opportunity on the field goal as the wind and slippery conditions playing a role in this football game. Fuller simply couldn't make the catch. Butler never got a chance to kick it. We'll be back with 12:05 to play first half. Chicago in front. Ryan and Johnny Morris, let's take a look at it, Johnny.
Well, notice Fuller does not have gloves on. He's one of the few players. Of course, he's the quarterback. It goes right through his hands. And then Kevin Butler has trouble picking it up, and the Lions recovered.
Curtis Green was the apparent recoverer. First down, Detroit. James Jones off tackle right. Gains about 3 yards to the 40-yard line. William Perry made the tackle. And for an NFL update, let's go to our studios in New York and Brent Musburger. As it might be the week for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the best winless team in football. And maybe today's the day against the Cardinals. The Buccaneers just seem to find ways to lose, and they've really got a lot more talent than the record indicates. This is James Jones, and he picks up a couple of more over the 40-yard line to the 42. Richard Dent on the tackle.
Well, the refrigerator number 72, William Perry, is getting more and more action these days. He's playing now on defense quite a bit. Let's see what happens to the refridge, because he's going to get collapsed down there. He's kind of lost his footing and submarined, and the whole line, offensive line jumped on the refridge.
Well, the Lions said that they were going to try to defrost the refrigerator.
Well, they did that time.
It is third down, a long 5. Nichols and Manley, 3 wide receivers. Hipple gets time and hits his man. Nichols for a first down to midfield. Dave Dewerson on the coverage, and Hipple connecting. Mark Nichols with 19 catches coming into the game.
This time the Bears used just a straight 4-man rush after faking the blitz, and actually 72, William Perry gets the closest, but it was Hipple concentrating on what he has to do. He looks for Nichols and hits him right on the button, and Nichols gets the first down for Detroit.
So the Lions at midfield playing win here in this second period, trailing 7-0 with 10:05 to play in the first half. Home setback is Jones. Jones, nothing in the middle, takes it outside, and the Bears shut it down. His effort gets him about 2, maybe 3 yards. Marshall, Singletary, and Wilson, all 3 linebackers, arrived to say hello to James Jones. I'm talking with James yesterday, saying, you know, you were all of a sudden the main man here. A lot of single back work. with Sims and Montgomery gone from the lineup. A man who figured to be primarily a blocker for those tailbacks finds himself as the man most responsible. His attitude is terrific.
It certainly is. And once you find that the Lions get somebody back, whether it be Sims or somebody they draft that can take some pressure off of Jones here, he's going to be even better.
Jones diving straight ahead, picks up 4 more, maybe 5. Singletary with an ankle tackle.
There's Darryl Rogers, who was in the college ranks for 20 years, and that's wherever he was.
I think he's striding that sideline to keep warm. Find somebody to go and talk to at each end of the bench so he can keep moving.
He's a little hunched over when he goes one direction. That wind must be pretty strong.
The wind is really high here, and you can see our shaky picture. That's because the wind is literally blowing the lenses of our television cameras. It is 3rd down and 4, and Hippo overthrows Rob Rubick, who was open, and he had pressure from Steve McMichael. His man was open in the flat tight end, Rubick, number 84.
Rubick is going to be a guy who's going to be open today because he's delaying out of his blocking position. Hippo just missed him that time, or they would have had a 1st down. But the play with that fake action of the counter the other way is taking a long time for it to develop as he rolls out on a partial rollout. By the time he gets ready to throw the ball, the Bears are after him.
Mike Black into punt. Ken Taylor at the Bears' 10-yard line. Black standing at his own 41. And a mix-up on the count. Relayed to the line from Curley, who is calling the signals on the punt unit. High snap again. Good catch by Mike Black. And he angles to the corner. It takes a Bears bounce upfield. And then he is knocked out of bounds by the Lions' Mike Mead. A 21-yard punt. And the wind continues to play a role. The Bears continue to lead 7-0.
Have owned the Bears. Payback time cargo could come next Sunday on CBS Sports.
Quite a lineup next Sunday on CBS Sports, beginning with the NFL today. Brent Musburger and company. The unbeaten Bears so far today against the Dallas Cowboys, and that should be quite a meeting. Minnesota at Detroit, another key matchup in the wild card picture. Philadelphia and St. Louis. New Orleans at Green Bay. Tampa Bay at the New York Jets. Check the local listings for the games and times in your area. Mike Ditka will take his Bears back into Dallas, where he was an assistant under Tom Landry. Fuller on 1st down, and it is complete. Ken Marjoram, number 82 from Stanford, getting the start for Dennis McKinnon. And they're resting his sore knee today. Comes up with a catch. 8-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 2. Marjoram coming off knee surgery a year ago. He was on injured reserve all last year. Went through that unusual rehab program. Did a lot of bicycling. That's was really kind of his own choice. And he feels, Johnny, that he's faster now than he was before the injured knee.
The Bears confirm that. They think he is a little bit faster. And he's playing most of the time today. Dennis McKinnon does play on some 3rd down situations.
2nd and 2, Chicago. Calvin Thomas in the backfield, leading for Payton, who has the 1st down. To the 39 of Chicago. Doug English with the tackle.
And boy, did Calvin Thomas bust up there through there just like Matt Suhey does. Thomas is number 33. He's had some shoulder problems. Watch him come right up the middle, and you're going to see him put the hit on Doug English, 78, and it really puts a hit on him. And English did get in on the tackle, but he was knocked out of the way so that Payton could get a few yards before he was able to make that tackle as the Bears continue to run that ball.
1st down, Chicago at their own 39-yard line. Thomas off the wing, blocks for Payton again into the middle, and it's about a 4, maybe 5-yard pickup for the wondrous one. Eric Williams and Ken Fantetti on the hit.
One thing you notice about the Bear blocking is a lot of angle blocks, a lot of people in motion coming angles, a lot of traps. The Bears don't try and block straight ahead that much to muscle you like some of the rushing teams that are the better rushing teams in the league. They try and finesse you and then hit you hard from the side. They try and create angles, and it's really tough on a 3-man front that the Lions have sometimes.
2nd down and about 6. Payton trying to get outside, and he goes nowhere. Excellent play by Demetrius John, safety, number 21. Coming up to put the wraps on Payton at the line of scrimmage.
The Lion defensive backs have had to make a lot of tackles this year, haven't they, Tim?
68 for William Graham, 53 for Demetrius Johnson. That's credit to them, but obviously discredit to the linebackers and the line in front of them. They've been making a lot of tackles downfield, and yet one of the things they've done well is what we saw here before surrendering the touchdown, 7 plays inside the 5.
Yes, and the Lions have changed some of their personnel. Curtis Green is in there. He's one of the defensive end. They're a 4-man rush now.
3 wide receivers for the Bears. Rolling is Fuller. Fuller can't find the man, and he is dropped just over the line of scrimmage. In fact, he didn't even get to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss. English and Curtis Green, number 62, put the stop on him.
And great pursuit by Green and Doug English as Steve Fuller. You're going to get his view of it. Now, he rolls out right away to try and stay away from the rush. But you're going to see 62 and 78. Now, they're interior linemen. Of course, Green is on the outside, but you can see him come down the line of scrimmage and avoid the blocks and put the pressure on Fuller, who can't see anybody down the field. And then it's 62 and 78 in on the tackle. Good defense by the Detroit Lions.
So they've stopped the Bears once more, and Maury Buford into punt with the win. Buford hits it from his 31. Nearly blocked. Flag down. Gentry hit out of the end zone. It is downed at the 4-yard line, but a flag is down back in the Bears punting unit area where Buford was contacted by the Detroit rush. Second of those we've seen today. The first one happened against the Bears.
Personal foul, running into the kicker. 36 on the receiving team. First down.
Mike Meade is charged with the crime.
They came with the all-out rush on this time, and their angles were bad because if they missed the ball, they were headed right for him, and Meade was headed right for the punter and committed the infraction, and it's a costly one for the Lions, who've done so well on some areas of the special teams. The coaches keep telling you, come from the angle on the side, go in front of the punter so that you don't hit him if you miss the ball. But that time, if he hadn't hit the ball, you knew he was going to hit the kicker. So no, it's not right how you raise your hands, Mike. It's the angle that you go for the ball.
Well, turn of fair play. The Bears had a similar penalty, and it gave the Lions a first down in almost the same situation in the field. Chicago first down at their 46-yard line. Straight drop by Fuller. Gets time. Short man is Payton out of the backfield. To the 21-yard line of Detroit. The magic of Walter Payton.
And you're going to see Tim Reitman and Payton in the same area. As Payton comes through all those linemen, 80 comes through, and there's Payton, and you can't reach for him. You got to get him there as he breaks away and turns and then dips to the outside, and you're going to see some high stepping here by Walter Payton. There it is. That's for the viewers. That's the showboat with Walter Payton, and he's not a real showboat, but he likes to high step it when he gets out in the open. What a great runner.
To the 21-yard line. Payton in motion. Fuller to Payton. First down, Chicago at the 10-yard line of the Lions.
Boy, the guy that was in trouble on this play was number 21, Demetrius Johnson. You'll see what he had to do once Fuller got to the outside, as the Bears are rolling more rollouts. Mark Bort, 62, leading the way. 21 is downfield. He didn't know whether to cover or whether to start to come forward to cover Steve Fuller, who could have run. And finally, Fuller throws to Payton, and Demetrius Johnson knocks him out of bounds.
12 first downs for the Bears to only 3 by the Lions with 4 minutes remaining in the half. Fuller made that pass absolutely perfectly on the run and drawing up that defender before he released the ball. Bostickin as an extra back.
Oh, William Graham, boy, was he in there.
Comets blasting straight ahead for about 3 yards.
William Graham has always been a good tackler. Of course, he's a free safety, was a strong safety, and he's usually the one that puts the hits on Walter Payton. He says he likes to take the challenge of going for for the best runner in football, and he's done fairly well overall. He's gotten into a few tussles with Walter Payton because Payton feels that he lays on him too long after he makes the tackle, but that time it was Thomas.
Well, he made it clear that he has great respect for Walter Payton. Second down. Moorhead cannot hold on. Emery Moorhead had the ball in his hands. It popped up, and then he took the hit from William Graham and could not get the ball back.
Third. Emery Moorhead is playing with a sore knee, and William Graham just came up with another good play because once he juggled the ball, Graham did what you're supposed to do, just jolt that receiver, and he jolted the ball loose.
Bobby Watkins had come off the corner. There he is in the bottom of your screen, number 27, with an apparent injury, about to be minor. Moves him back out there. He's a fine, solid player for them on the corner.
Boy, he seemed ready for the game when we talked to him, didn't he?
Sure did.
Right.
It is third and goal. They give us a Calvin Thomas touchdown.
Calvin Thomas got the touch, and who got the block? Walter Payton. You're going to see, watch William Graham, 33 come in. He's in there to stop that run, and 34, Walter Payton will put the hit on him right there at the left of your screen as Calvin Thomas, who's suffered through a lot of injuries, and he's got 2 bad shoulders. Now, you're going to watch Payton's block now. He has to jolt William Graham, and he gets him right there, 34 on 33, and that was the key, as the rest of the Bear offensive line just split the line wide open as Fantetti was out of the hole also.
Kevin Butler for the point after. Georgia rookie pulled down a high snap, and Butler blasts it in. So with 3:10 to play in the first half, it's sold out Soldier Field. The unbeaten Bears 14-0. Team finally getting some credit. They've got their own poster. John, will help me.
That's right. This is a takeoff on the Blues Brothers. They said, we want to get some publicity, so they put the dark glasses and the hats on. They've made a commercial this week for a couple of big companies and takeoff of the Blues Brothers. So the offensive line is getting some credit.
The Black and Blues Brothers, and they just led Matt Suhey into the end zone. The running game today as the Bears plan to use it, rather Thomas into the end zone. Calvin Thomas getting the touchdown, and the offensive line today really figured to play the role that they have, Johnny, because the Lions 28 last in the league against the rush. Bears taking advantage of it.
They certainly are. Can I keep that poster? I'd like to take that one home. I think it's kind of unique.
Well, I bet they'll autograph it for you too. So Chicago with a 14-0 lead with 3:10 remaining. First half of play. And I know the fans looking in around the country with the rain turning to snow appreciate how tough you are, Johnny, but I'm keeping this overcoat on. Alvin Moore is the deep man, and Alvin Hall. It's taken by Hall, number 35. And Alvin Hall with a good return, hit hard from behind, wound up getting about 3 more from the Bears' jolt over the 30-yard line. Sean Gale on the hit for the Bears. Hall needed just 38 yards on kickoff returns to become the all-time leader in that department on the Detroit Lions. The record held by Tommy Watkins, 2,262. First down from the 30-yard line. Eric Hipple. With one setback, James Jones. Jones, good hard running by Jones, carrying tacklers all out to the 37-yard line. Dan Hampton and Fensick finally hauled him down, and Fensick got up limping. 2:42 remaining here in this first half of play. And coming up shortly at halftime, the NFL Today will feature Brent Musburger with George Allen. Scores and highlights from around the league, and our feature today, the legend of the game, the Over the Hill Gang. Everybody remembers them. I'm sure George Allen will be talking about them and about the Bears. He was once the defensive coach of Chicago, and he's watching another great defensive team with this edition of the Bears. Jones picks up 2, maybe 3, and he'll be first down yardage. Yes, he will, with the spot of the ball at the 40-yard line. Singletary, Fensick, and Marshall all piling on to James Jones. He is a strong young man. 24 years of age from Florida. The 1 pick in 1983.
Well, the Lions have a difficult job ahead of them because they're moving against the wind. We have 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in the first half, and you can't really throw very well because the wind, I mean, we just can't tell you how much and how strong that wind is, and to throw against it's tough. To run down the field and get some points on the board in the 2 minutes on a running game is very difficult against the Chicago Bears. Once they get ahead of you, 14-0.
Well, we see the Rams are in front of the Giants 10-0 in the second period, and a game for the Giants. And of course the Rams trying to stay ahead of the 49ers in the West. Philadelphia shutting out Atlanta 14-0. The Falcons continue to struggle. And the Eagles continue to rise. Cleveland and Cincinnati tied at 7. And Buffalo in front of Houston. Houston's won 3 in a row, but trailing in the second period. And a typically tough battle. Pittsburgh 20 and Kansas City 14. The Chiefs have been on the swing. Eric Hipple talking, and Johnny is 2 for 4 and 27 yards and throwing into it here with these final 2 minutes and 5 seconds. He's had one picked off by Dave Duerson.
And they only threw 13 passes last week. And going back at the game and looking at that Minnesota game they lost, they probably should have thrown the ball a little bit more. Rob Rubick is the guy who might be open. Let's see if he's come back in the game, because he's been delaying and been open quite a bit as he's a blocker and then checks down. So we'll see what they do with that. The shorter passes are your much better situation against this wind.
The Bears took him out. We have not yet reached the 2-minute warning. There's 2:05 remaining.
David Lewis is in there.
3 wide receivers with Lewis, and a busted play and a sack. McMichael and Wilson swarming in on Hipple, and it looked like there was a miscue that probably wouldn't have mattered because the Bears defenders were in the backfield.
It's not really that much of a miscue because he's a slow developer and then he goes out. It's just the fact that the Bears came through very quickly, but it's also a slow developing play, as you saw McMichael and Otis Wilson in there, and that play is just not working for the Lions. They better get off of it because they don't have that time, that kind of thing. They got to throw quicker stuff.
2 minutes remaining first half. The Bears in front 14-0. Johnny Morris at Soldier Field, and Eric Hipple seems to be having a problem with the center Steve Mott, Johnny.
Well, you can see Mott snaps the ball up. Of course, he's got a bad finger, and Hipple doesn't quite get the exchange well, and you know he's bobbled 2 or 3, so apparently there's just some problem there.
Drop play here for James Jones, running hard up the middle and still going all the way to the 49-yard line.
Hipple is hurt.
And a flag down back at the 20 where Richard Dent arrived with Eric Hipple, and Hipple limping. The penalty apparently is going to be assessed against the Bears. A 16-yard pickup by Jones.
And the penalty, I think, is going to have to go against Dent because he really hit Hipple. Hipple was faking. Of course, he had already given the ball off and was on the inside handoff. So let's hear the call.
Personal foul, 95 defense, first down.
Personal foul for a little extracurricular activity on Eric Hipple. Referee Tom Dooley with the call.
Richard Dent says the fake was so good I thought he had the ball. Here's the handoff to James Jones, 30, as he goes up the field. But watch Dent right here on Eric Hipple, and I'm sure that Dent's going to maintain, hey, I thought he still had the ball. James Jones ran up the field.
Yeah, he'd have to take that to the People's Court, I think.
That's right. He'd have to plead his case somewhere.
First down, Lions at the 36-yard line. Jones gets a breather. Hipple already sore from being knocked out of the game last week against Minnesota with a couple of injuries. And he is hit again, and William Perry, 308 pounds, lands on top of Eric Hipple. Third sack by the Bears in this first half. Hampton led the charge.
And it was 50, Mike Singletary, who got through first as they do a little crisscross, and here comes 50. Hipple had no chance to get the ball off as Singletary misses him, but of course he delayed everything, and here comes the refrigerator, 72, William Perry along with Dan Hampton. So you'll get a good chance to see how the Bears blitz the attack here, blitz the offensive scheme of blocking.
Second down, draw play, big hole, Jones, flag down. James Jones to the 28-yard line, a flag on the play.
It's going to be against the Detroit Lions. Somebody got caught for holding.
What a tough break for the Lions. Another beautiful run by Jones. A perfectly executed drop play will go for naught.
Well, that's the way you attack that Bear defense, isn't it? Twice they've...
Holding 52 offense. Second down.
That's the center, Steve Mott.
Okay, let's watch him. Dan Hampton is there. You see 52, he's the center. Let's watch number 99, Dan Hampton, and you see the refrigerator 72. Now, Mott makes the snap, and he puts his hands out there, and does he grab onto Hampton as he hooks him around the arm there? And there goes Jones by, but he really did pull him down, didn't he?
And Hampton is a load for anybody to handle. Sean Gale comes in defensively. Perry comes out. It is second and very long. Back at the 45. Detroit. Hipple, screen pass. James Jones slips and falls at the 45-yard line of the Bears. Jones likes to catch that football. He's a fine receiver out of the backfield and was just getting up steam when he lost his footing on a slick portion of the carpet here at Soldier Field.
The Lions now trying to counter the Bears' ferocious rush with the little screen pass. You see Jones, number 30, at the right of your screen. He waits, they count, and then he yells as soon as he gets to the goal, and the linemen are supposed to turn up the field, and Jones slips as they hit towards the sidelines, or he would have had maybe 4 or 5 more yards.
Third down and nearly 20. The ball at the Bears' 44-yard line. Draw play, and the Bears all over that one. A loss of 6 back to the midfield stripe. You see several of the players getting up with what appears to be blood all over their pants. It's from that big Red Sea that got wet.
Well, they came with everybody but the kitchen sink, as you see that Richard Dent, 95, is inside there with Otis Wilson, 55. And 3 Bears get right through there. 95, 99, Dan Hampton, Richard Dent, they were all there, and the Lions had no chance. I mean, they went through there like there was nothing there.
So it is 4th down. Here's Richard Dent.
Leads the team in sacks with 95 going into this game.
Next week, college football on CBS Sports. We'll present Iowa against Purdue or Maryland against Clemson. Check your local listings for the live action at 2:30 Eastern Time. Number 6 ranked Iowa was awesome yesterday, walloping Illinois 59-0. Did Chuck Long have 4 touchdowns in that game?
Yes, and they were throwing in the 4th quarter. They were ahead 49-0.
Well, you know, things like the Heisman are at stake. One would hate to think that that was the motivation, but they are an outstanding football team, and you'll see them next week on CBS Sports.
Black has proven that he's a pretty good athlete. He's had to leap for a couple of the snaps as Dennis McKinnon is back to receive the punt. McKinnon with that sore knee.
He's standing at the 10-yard line. Black will be punting into this considerable wind with 59 seconds remaining in the first half. High snap, and Black does a good job again and gets a good kick into that wind. The ball just bounced straight up into the hands of Rick K. 32 of the Lions, who downs it inside the Bears' 20. A 30-yard punt, pretty good job. And in 51 seconds of playing time, we'll be going to our studios in New York for the NFL Today, and we'll be joining Brent George Allen, scores and highlights, and special features as we bring you up to date on the activity around the NFL Today. And don't forget, later today, we're going to be seeing Dallas and Washington. The Cowboys tied atop the standings with the Giants, who are trailing the Rams at the moment to nothing. And the Washington Redskins still very much in the picture in that NFC East as they have rallied back. Fuller. Suhey. Broke 1 tackle and has a first down at the 32-yard line. 13-yard gain, 36 seconds and counting down. Curley made the stop for the Lions. Bears in the hurry up. Payton. Jimmy Williams couldn't hold him. Payton gets up to the 40-yard line. Demetrius Johnson, Doug English ranging back, made the play defensively. And the clock stopped with 18 seconds remaining as Payton got out of bounds. Fuller gets some instruction from the Bears sideline, gets the next set of plays. They'll have a second and a long 2. Well, second and about 2 at the 40-yard line.
Remember, they don't have to go quite as far for the in field range because of this strong wind behind them. Tim Reitman is in the game out there in the slot. He's the guy they like to go through in this kind of a situation, number 80.
Fuller gets lots of time, goes to the short man, and it should be first down yardage to Payton.
Fuller to Payton.
9 seconds and ticking. They'll have to hustle to get this play off. They throw it out to the sideline to stop the clock, but zeros are showing on the scoreboard, and they did not beat the clock. So at halftime, now wait a minute, flags are down. Are they going to play another play here or not? Is the penalty on the offense or the defense? A huddle at
Well, if they are, they're going to have to run into the locker room and get the Bears out.
It might be the band that's going to make the next play. Both teams have headed to their locker rooms.
It depends on the penalty, whether
Right.
it was against a defense or the offense.
False start. 74 offense. Half is over.
The penalty was against the Bears, Jim Covert, and so at halftime, the score, the Chicago Bears 14, the Lions nothing.